Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and it's Christmas Day, so by the time this uploads I will be back at home having had a lovely Christmas dinner with my family at my mother's house, and I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas as well. For some of you, you might not have had your Christmas dinner yet because of the time differences, but I've had mine and I will be stuffed. And it's a bit weird because I'm recording this in advance to go up on Christmas Day, but I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas Day, or I hope you're going to have a wonderful Christmas Day if yours is just beginning. So, we're here to look at the Blitzen. Yeah, I thought I'd review this. I know everybody's got one, so you're not going to be buying one. But the MTLS will probably come on at some point, and for anybody who sort of starts playing after they gave it away, they might be looking at it. But here we are, the Blitzen. Lovely little free tank. Really good fun. I thought I'd do a review of it, try and give you some tips on how to actually use it, because it does see up to tier 5, so no preferential matchmaking, which, yeah, can be a problem. It really can with the penetration on this thing. Let's get the silver bonuses out of the way though first. Well, you've got a 26% silver bonus, and you have a 65% XP bonus, so it does work quite well for training your crews. Your armour is 38 on the front, and this is for both the hull and the turret, and then 25 on the sides, 25 on the rear. Let's have a look at the gun. Well, it's a weird little gun. It's a 37mm dual automatic cannon, 37 rounds a minute, 45 pen and 40 damage for your standard ammunition, 61 and 40 for your premium, 19 and 50 for your HE. Quite a good aiming time at 1.71 seconds, really bad accuracy at 0.48, but it is kind of like an automatic type thing. Not a bad hull traverse at 40 degrees, and a decent turret traverse at 44 as well, with a 320 view range, which is about average for the tier, and a 325 signal range, which seems low, but I think again it is possibly about average for the tier. Now, it is kind of a light tank in name only, and it has 5 rounds in the clip. It's an auto loader, and each time you fire 1 round from the clip, it fires 2, because you fire 1 out of each barrel, which means that you're firing 10 shells, which basically translates to having a potential of 400 damage full clip, which is, well, it's a hell of a lot for down at tier 3, as you'll probably I can't even get my words out. Agree, that's the one. A lot of ammo carried in this, 700 rounds. I do carry some premium ammunition because you do see tier 5, and there's some tier 5s that you can't pen even with the premium ammunition, so do be aware of that. It doesn't keep its movement bonuses on the move, so it does behave more like a medium, but it's called a light tank. Equipment wise, well, I've got vents on it at the minute. I am going to put a gun lane drive on it, and possibly coated optics to try and outspot my enemy, but I've not got them on there at the minute. And I'm kind of using it as a crew trainer, but I'd say you definitely want Sixth Sense, definitely want camouflage, maybe Brothers in Arms. Not really, to be honest, thought about the skills on this. I do apologise for that, it's trying to come up. Let's have a look. So yeah, like I say, you definitely want situational awareness, maybe. Probably improve your view range and outspot your enemies. That'd be a good thing in this. Clutch braking, yeah. Off-road driving, I don't think it's got very good terrain resistances. It doesn't have a very good power to weight ratio, to be honest. Snapshot, yeah, I would say is one of them. I mean, you could play it a bit more sneaky, but yeah, definitely Sixth Sense and some of those others that I mentioned. But like I say, I've been using it as a crew trainer. Let's have a, well, we've looked at the gun, we've looked at the silver bonuses. Let's have a look at the modules. You do have a bit of your engine in the front of your tank at your lower plate, so do be aware of that, and quite a large portion of it towards the back of the tank as well, although there are a few gaps, so there's a chance they might miss it. It's a 240 horsepower engine, which translates to 15.6 horsepower per tonne. It's got 50 kilometers an hour top speed and 19 in reverse. It does take a while to get up to that 50 though, and you have a 12% chance of fire. Guns at the front, where you'd expect them, or where you'd hope they'd be. Tracks, well, terrain resistances, like I say, are quite poor, but your tracks are quite a solid block, and don't forget they'll act as an amount of spaced armour. But your terrain resistances are 1.14, 1.31 and 2.63, so you can see why I recommended off-road driving. Turret on top. Radio is actually down in the hull there, just on the left hand side as we're looking at it. ammunition, 2 fairly large blocks at the side towards the rear of the turret, so if you're wanting to take the ammo rack, that's where you want to be aiming. And you've got 4 crew, 2 in the front, and your commander and the gunner sat up in the turret there. Armour wise, there's not much to show really. You've got 1 to 20, which are your tracks, your upper plate, but it is quite well angled, that flat plate there, which is kind of like a front deck, and the hull of the tank itself and your engine deck. 21 to 30 is, well, basically the whole rear of the tank, all the sides of the tank, and the sides and rear of the turret, and a couple of little patches just on your gun shield there and mantle. And then 31 to 50 is all the other bits, so it's all the flat parts on the front of it, and the lower plate are your sort of 38mm armour. Your concealment, 20. This is what you get for trying to do so many videos in one go. Right, concealment, 0.22 stationary, 0.17 on the move, which again is quite poor for a light, not bad for a medium, and it is just a light in name only. And I think that's about it really. My only other thing is the reload time is quite long on this. It's 13.68 seconds, which is quite lengthy, especially down for a tier 3, so don't let that catch you out. And I think that's about it. So if I've forgotten anything else, I shall mention it in the replays, but let's get into those and see how it actually handles. Right, so here we are for the first replay. It's tier 5 match, and it's a standard battle on Cliff. And this isn't me driving, this is actually my wife. And in a tier 5 match, and yeah, possibly not as much in a tier 4, but definitely in a tier 5 match, you're going to struggle to fulfill the scouting role, because, well, essentially you're a medium tank that's been designated as a light. You don't keep your bonus on the move, and you've not got a particularly light tank power to weight ratio. So you are essentially a medium tank with regards to a lot of how this actually plays. Now, in that tier 5 match, you can try and spot, but your view range isn't brilliant, so you might struggle to do that, and you're going to have to try and sort of provide support as best you can, because your range isn't brilliant on these guns, and your penetration will drop off fairly quickly, and you're going to have to be very, very opportunistic. You're going to have to try and get the sides and the rear of the tougher opponents. You know, the weaker armoured ones, you'll be able to get through the front as well, possibly. More than likely you're going to have to use premium ammunition to do it though. But with the tougher things, I mean, look at a KV-1 for instance, which is a tier 5 tank. I think its thinnest armour is about 70. Well, that's it. Its thinnest armour value is 70, which I think is on the rear. But there's a couple of places where it's a little bit thinner. But you're going to have to use your premium ammunition to get through its backside. And even then, it's probably going to be a 50-50 unless you're right up next to it. So, you know, you are going to have to try and plan your attacks, and plan your attacks very, very carefully. You've got to try and get around things if you can, and go for the weaker armoured opponents first, like the M3 Stuart up front there. And it's very tempting in something like this to YOLO ever so slightly. Don't. Your armour will bounce a few shots when you're top tier from a few, you know, the odd thing. Definitely not tank destroyers. But in this sort of level, well, look at the damage that M3 Stuart did with one hit. And another thing is that it's very, very easy to just sort of aim at your target and then pull the trigger and not let go until your clip's empty. It is very easy to do that, and it's very tempting to do that. And don't do that. Just touch it, basically aim up, just tap your trigger, so you fire off your 2 rounds, you know, 1 marker from your clip, if you will. Let the sights settle down again, and then do it again, and do it again, and you'll get the timing right, so you'll have a little rhythm, so you won't have to really wait for your circle to even come back down and then pull the trigger. You'll just know, you know, that little rhythm with your finger to empty that clip into them, and by doing that it keeps it as accurate as possible. Because your accuracy, I mean, it's not brilliant to start with, and then, you know, when you pull your finger on the trigger, it is very inaccurate and you will spray bullets everywhere. That's fine when you're up close to something, because it doesn't matter. You're just going to hit with everything anyway. And, you know, if I can creep around a corner and pop out on something, I'll just pull my finger on the trigger and not let go until the clip is empty, or that thing's dead. And you know, nearly every round, or I think every round, I would say, in fact, will go in. So yeah, you know, maps like Ensk, Himmelsdorf, that sort of thing. If you can go blasting around a corner, sneak up on, you know, the side or the rear of something, and just annihilate them by just holding your finger on your trigger. But at this sort of range, you want to just touch your trigger enough to fire one lot off, let it settle down, fire the next lot off, and like I say, you'll get into that rhythm with it. But it does keep it accurate, and if you do that, you can take out quite a lot of stuff. You know, you can do a lot of damage. In a tier 5 match, it's not so much hitting your target when you do it like that, it's more just penning the target. But in tier 3 matches, you know, it works quite well. But I do like this tank, but you do have to play it very carefully in tier 5 matches, and normally in tier 4 as well, to be honest. And it's very easy to get a mastery badge on at the minute, because, well, I mean, they've been given to everybody, and not everybody will be used to be playing a tank like this. So yeah, it does seem quite easy to get mastery badges at the minute. But you'll be amazed how many Blitzens I've seen, because a lot of the time when you're in the Blitzen and you get in a tier 3 match, chances are there's a lot of Blitzens in there. And I've seen so many where they'll sort of aim at you and then just pull the trigger and hold it and just empty the clip at you. And you know, the first one or two might hit you, but then after that they're just flinging wide. And they just go all over, and you know, and then you do it how I was saying, and you just take them down. Now, she's been doing quite well in this match, like I say, being very cautious, being very opportunistic, going for the targets she knows can hit and pen. The M3 Stuart took a couple of hits, and he's decided he doesn't want any more of that. But he is a little tier 3 light, so we could make a mess of him. I don't blame him, to be honest. I'd have pulled back. And these Blitzens, when they've got a full clip and you're up close, are very nasty. Now she's going to have to be careful of the two remaining heavies. One of them is in the cap circle. Honestly, I don't know if he's firing. I think he is AFK or AFP, whichever you prefer. And the other one, oh, he's way over the other side, so there's no worry there. Well, here's the Stuart, and just opened up and took him out. The other heavy's been taken out by the other guys, and yeah, I think he wasn't in the game. And this is exactly the right thing to do. There's one enemy heavy left, which she probably couldn't take on her own, probably couldn't even penetrate it, depending on what it is, I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, capping is the right thing to do. It's going to put the pressure on him. It's going to prevent him from getting to our cap and out capping us, for us not being able to get back or something silly happening. And if he does turn around to try and come back and reset, there is our heavy and a tank destroyer on the way up there to intercept. So yeah, I'd say this is definitely the right thing to do and the right time to cap. And he's over near our cap. I'm not entirely sure. I think he might be coming back, but the way I think he's doing it is to try and avoid those guys coming up. So he either saw or he anticipated them coming, and she's just popped out a cap there to give these guys time to go after him and to get him, because I think he'd anticipated the way they were coming, and that's why he's gone that way, to try and go wide and come down that 1-2 line towards the cap that way. So by just resetting the cap, she's just given these guys enough time to go after him and try and take him out and farm a bit more damage. And that's why she's left the cap there, because they've found him. They're going to take him on and take him out. It's a T1 heavy, so she'd have to get round the back or the sides to get through that, possibly even 5 premium at that. But it's allowed these guys to get a little bit more damage done, a little bit more XP and silver, and that's the match.
Mission accomplished.
So like I say, tier 4, and well, tier 4 play it cautious, tier 5 very, very, very cautious. You'll not make a great deal of money in a tier 5 match, and that's because you will have to fire a lot of premium ammo. And it doesn't seem like a lot of damage, but it doesn't do much per shot. But she did come top of the table for that one. And that's because a lot of the stuff she was damaging, well, some of it was higher tier, and the fact that she was a tier 3 and a tier 5 match. But that's a very good way of playing it in a tier 5 match. Like I say, very, very cautiously. Almost be like some sort of vulture or opportunistic predator, that sort of thing, swooping down at the last second to do a bit of damage. Anyway, here's the second replay for you, and it's a little bit shorter this one, but then again it is Christmas, so I don't know if you guys want to be watching a long video on Christmas, but I thought I'd upload one so nobody misses out. But here we are, second replay. I'm in the Blitzen this time, and it is a tier 3 match, Corellia Standard Battle. And I do like this. There are a few Blitzens in here, I think. I don't think there's quite as many as I've seen. I think the most I've seen in one match was 16, I think, split between the two teams. It was even, you know, it was 8 aside, but still 16. Yeah, that's a hell of a lot. The only thing I've ever seen worse than that was, for those of you that were playing, you know, for the PlayStation guys anyway, that were playing when the Motherland Op was on, and you guys on Xbox will possibly remember as well, when the Motherland Op was on, God, those games, anything around tier 8 was just Motherlands, as far as the eye could see. And I think the worst one I had were 20, I think it was either 19 or 20 Motherlands in one match, which was ridiculous. So I've come up this way, I found the Gross Tractor. Now, the ones that I'm firing, occasionally both are going on target, but more often than not at that range, one is sort of going on target and one is generally heading wide. And you will sometimes find that with the range, with the Blitzen. Not always, you know, sometimes I have had it at that range and both, each time I've fired, have gone on target or only ever so slightly off target but still hit. Other times it's a bit like that where one will go straight and another one will fly off to the extremes. There doesn't seem to be many guys that come this way. And we've not even had to go up to sort of the A and B 1 and 2 area. Right up in the northeast corner where you normally have to. One of our lights had swept right across, seen there was nothing there, so it's just allowed us to come a bit shorter in. Now that was close from RT. I've got the side of that Blitzen, but I needed the reload. But you can just see the kind of damage this can do when you ambush somebody and you're close enough to get all those hits in. In tier 3 matches, they are dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Well, they can be. Should I say. Not always, but they can be very, very dangerous in tier 3s. Now, I came down this way to have another go at that Blitzen, but somebody took him out, so I'm going to head towards the enemy cap. I'm kind of wishing at this point as well that I'd not come down here to have a go at that Blitzen, or that I'd climbed out, because the terrain resistance on this, I think on the soft ground, is not brilliant, I think I showed in the garage, and I was really regretting having to go through that swampy area. And unfortunately somebody took out the RT before I could finish him off, and now I'm reloading. I was hoping the T15 wasn't going to see me. I don't fancy taking that guy on. He could make short work of me, and if he angles properly and sort of keeps moving, I could struggle on his frontal armour, possibly. It's not brilliant, but it's not too bad at a range or if he's using his gun depression. But I was aiming quite poorly then actually, and he was doing quite a decent job of weaving about, and I did a crap job of aiming and missed most of it, unfortunately. So he has managed to get up there. He's going after that locust to try and reset the cap. Now where is he though? There he is. Is he going to yeah, he's managed to reset the cap, but the locust's having to go back, and that's him done. Now we've just had what's popped up over there. An M2 medium. No problem. And now I've got 3 left, and don't forget it does fire 2 per shot. Is it 40? Yeah, average of 40 per shot. Oh, and it's the enemy Blitzen. Yeah, I kind of wished I'd got a full clip then. Now, did you see how I did it? How I was saying, and he just opened up. And I was angled only a little bit, but a lot of those bounced, and a lot of them missed as well. In fact, it looks like from the damage took that only one actually went in out of the full clip, and that's because he just opened up on me. Yeah, it was a bit of a dodgy shot of that Marder too, to be honest. But it was worth it. Go for the reload, and by the time I get back to him, or he gets to me, I should have reloaded. There we go. And there's the Marder. I'm just wondering which way to go. I did consider dropping down, but I thought, do you know what? He's the last guy. I can take a hit. There's the hit. And I'm going to pull up alongside him. And then I'm going to open up. And there you go. That's the match. Well, there you go. There's the Blitzen. I hope I've given you a few tips on how to play it. Like I say, I know nobody will be buying it because we all got it for free, but if the MTLS ever comes on sale and you've missed it or whatever, then it's going to be there. But I came out of that with a high caliber, an ace tanker, and a Confederate. And of course, I think my lovely wife got an ace tanker in the last match, didn't she? Just over 1,000 damage done, 360 blocked, and a little 100 assisted. But there you go. I hope I've helped you out with how to drive it. And if you've been struggling with it, maybe now you'll be able to have a few better games. But I hope you've all had a fantastic Christmas day, and those of you yet to have it, I hope you have a good one, and I'll be back tomorrow with another vid. So as always, take care of that, and I will catch you next time. See you later.